Hi, and welcome back to Epic Content Marketing 2016. I'm lucky enough to be here with Norway's only text doctor. She's a great friend and a real magician when it comes to text.
Oh, thanks.
You had an amazing talk earlier where I actually learned a lot that I didn't know. And I think the stuff you talked about is like, when I got your points, I was like, oh yeah, right, of course. But it's not something we as marketers think about. When we start talking about content marketing, some people always focus on the technology.
Right.
Which platforms should we use? Some people think about the visuals, others talk about value.
Yeah.
But at heart, I believe that text is what rules who wins and who loses.
Yep.
So can you just give us a brief introduction to what you were talking about yesterday?
Yeah, actually yesterday my speech was called The Arts and Crafts and Pain in the Ass of Writing. And Content Marketing Norge didn't want to put pain in the ass out on the web, but I can understand that. So I actually just talked about the writing process and simple steps that you can follow because in my experience, what people think it's really hard to write. And I used to be global web editor for DNV years ago, and it was hard to get people to write. Everyone wanted to talk about pictures and design and have opinions, but no one really wanted to do the hard work. So one of my jobs was, and still is, to inspire people, help people, make it easier to write. And there's simple steps we can follow. Should I say a little bit more about that? Or do you have
sure.
Because I think the most important thing is to just start writing. And that sounds so easy and it's so hard.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you've written for years and years, you know that everything's going to look terrible to start with.
Yeah.
You know, the words come out and you spell things wrong and it looks really awful. And you get this feeling that, oh, I should be doing something else. I shouldn't write. Yesterday I actually said, sometimes I think to myself, why didn't I become a bus driver? You know, it's because why didn't I choose an easier life?
Yeah.
And then I love writing. So the thing is, if you just write something down and it can be really bad and you go away from your computer or phone or whatever you're writing on and go for walks, things like that, take a break, sleep, wake up, go back to the computer and there are words there. And it's like magic because then you have something to work with.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of my job is just to help people to see that it's not that bad, even though it looks awful in the start. Yeah.
But people working in content departments or marketing departments often have 1,000 things just lying around waiting to be done.
Yeah.
And the way you work with text is that like you have to take a really deep look into what you're doing and it's your main focus.
Yeah.
How can you balance everything else you're doing, but at the same time keep a high quality on the text you produce?
Well, that's a great question. And the thing is that I've been a student the last 5 years, so I have my final exam today.
Yeah.
So I've been studying 50% next to my job, next to teaching as a full-time job and all sorts of other things. And so I don't think I'm that different from everyone else. I think that we all have to find time for writing. So actually what I do is I put aside time in my schedule. I schedule meetings with myself so no one else can schedule me. Yeah. And I set aside time, and actually I'm pretty structured. When I sort of have time, of course I have to check Facebook first and mails and do all these stupid things, and if I'm at home I feel like vacuuming and emptying the dishwasher, and I force myself not to, and I have these really awful clothes on. I talked a bit about that yesterday. I wear running pants and I sort of look like a mess, and then I know that, okay, I'm really comfortable, I can write. So I have this little routine first where I just check stuff, make sure everything's okay, turn off all sorts of notifications, and then I'm ready to write. And the first thing I do is I think, oh my God, I can't do this. And I just start putting words, words down. And unless I'm really inspired, sometimes I'm really inspired, and then it just flows out. It still looks awful.
Yeah.
It flows out, and I can start restructuring. And
because yesterday we were talking about the dreaded first draft.
Yeah, or actually Anne Handley calls it the ugly first draft, which she even has this abbreviation for it. Yeah. So and it's okay that it's ugly, but I think if you don't write a lot, and if you're not used to the process, you can feel sort of like you're not good enough, to start with. So one of my main messages is just do it. Like Nike would have said, just do it, just start, just get some words down, put some links in there. And then after, I usually do some research. So I write first, and then I start researching, looking, what have other people said, who can inspire me. I can even look at pictures or anything, and then put some more stuff in.
Yeah.
And then after I sort of feel like I've got an ugly first draft, then I take a break.
Okay.
And I think that's extremely important, because your brain needs time to... if you let your brain work, it'll work all by itself while you're sleeping and while you're going for walks and things like that.
But as a final takeaway for the ones watching this video, they're probably just a one-man show running marketing operations at their company.
Yeah.
How can they get started and structure their work in order to put time for text as well?
Yeah, that's a hard question, because since I don't know, everybody, and I don't know the situation they're in.
I have to run ads, I have to write blog posts, follow up clients, do client work, build landing pages, everything like this. And then, of course, everything I do always has some type of text in it. How can I go about to still keep my deadlines and have everything on schedule, but at the same time have a high quality on the text?
Yeah, well, that's actually what Anne was talking about today. I think that it's sort of like this method of getting things done. I think you have to prioritize, and you have to think in your mind what's most important right now. And, do I have to get those ads out now? Do I have to do... Because writing is often the thing that people postpone most. Yeah. So I think just at least going through, your tasks during the day, and you have so much going on, Takin, and make an overview for yourself and plot out, okay, where do I actually have time to get, like you said, blog posts. That's really important.
Yeah.
Get good blog posts and high quality. And of course, if you just publish without checking, I think, especially if you're a one-man show, you should check with someone else.
Yeah.
You send stuff to me sometimes, and as long as I have time, I'll always get back to you, because for me it's really important. And if you can't, talk to me, talk to people around you, show it to your mom or whoever you want to show your text to, if you have at least one other person that can look through your text. And I find that very often when I blog, I check with other people that I trust, Hans Petter Nygaard Hansen, Astrid Valen Utvik, all these Norwegian big shots and thought leaders, and just to check, am I getting my message across? And I think people are really, really helpful. I think most people in the world actually are helpful.
I think so.
I think that's great. Yeah.
Thank you for your talk.
Thank you.